Hello everyone. Today's session, I will show you, using a client API, using a client WAR file or client consumer code, which will call the REST service and display the items or populate the items on the UI. It's a small application, and this will end your full stack development. If you really want to learn in detail about how to, develop it properly using a proper client API, you can connect me, you can message me, you can mail me. I have already shown you my information in my previous session. Today, at the end of the session, again, I will share you my information. Though I am not a trainer, I am not a front-end, specialist. So I have created some pages which I'll be showing you today. In the previous session, that I had yesterday, I had shown you to to invoke the REST API using REST client, right? Like SOAP UI. I have shown you with SOAP UI. You can also use Postman and all other stuff, all other client REST client APIs to invoke REST services. Today, it is with HTML page and jQuery code to invoke the REST API giving a AJAX call. That is the older way of doing it. Nowadays, you have AngularJS, React.js, and so many other JS framework, JavaScript framework, which is used to develop front-end application along with HTML. Right? So here, I'm going to share you that how you can work from the HTML pages. After that, I will show you why logos were not getting generated, what actually the issue and how they are getting generated today. So that also I will show you. And this will end the session of full stack Java development. If you are really seriously interested to become a full stack Java developer, you can see from the very beginning of Java session till the end. I will not till the end, till this session, you will got a clear picture and you will have clear information how to develop. Again, developing a UI is very easy. Anyone can do it. You can have SQL pages and develop it, right? So let's go and start today's session. I have already started my server. The MySQL server I have already started, and I will show you how to do it. Yeah, I have only few pages. I have created one index pages. I've created one index page. I just created one index page and one page to insert a record, one page to display. This is the page I've created. But if you are doing for your engineering project, you should have a page, which will ask you to log in. That is your user ID password. After logging in, it should display you to create a page. You should create record, in display record, update record. These all operation, delete record, all card or CRUD operation. It should show you. So what pages I have done, I did it manually, not in Eclipse. So what pages I have done here, see, I created a client API here folder. If you see, you can create a Maven project for this and create a WAR file. I have not created Maven project, but what I will do when I push this code to Git, it will be a Maven project. You can run the Maven script and you can easily generate a WAR out of it. You need not require to do it manually. So see, this is the index page. I'll just explain this index page, what it is doing, and then the create page and get page. So full stack development will end today, right? If you have any question, you can always call me. I will help you out in your project, either your engineering student or any computer science student. You're watching my video. As well as if you are a fresher, you can always call me. I will guide you. I'm not a trainer. I'm looking for a job. In my free time, I'm trying to help people technically. Those who are having technical, those who want to learn more in technology, I'm trying to help them. See, this is the index page. You know, the main page, which is when I hit it, this page will get displayed. And in this page, I will have two tab. One tab is for insert, and the other tab is for getting the personal detail. Right. So if you see this body and this division, you have two division here. You know, one is displaying, one is to display the header, and the other is to display that particular page of that header. Like create a person record, that is one tab which will display your create.html. Get person details is another tab that will display get.html. This is what, you know, the body, and this is a simple HTML page. If you see, I have written here the JavaScript, a JScript is written, JavaScript is written, you know, scripting language, which is basically to enable disable tab, right? Click on this tab, that page should display. Click on this tab, that page should display. And these are styles for the page, header, tab, all these are the styles, you know. So a UI, UX designer will be, you know, the best person to design a better website. For the person who are expert in this, they can do that. You know. For me, when I was working, I was using a framework called JCOS, Joule framework. You know, that framework is not required to write so many CSS style JavaScript. It is a rich client framework, and it has inbuilt all the things, all the functions. You know, you just need to define and it will deliver it. You are not required to write so much of JavaScript or style sets. So here, this page is a get HTML page. This is like you populate data when you are fetching data from the, you know, REST API. This is what is going to work. I'm using jQuery framework 3.7.1 framework, right? So you can use the same thing. These are the style sheet. You can look into this code. The main part is here. See what I'm doing. So let me go fast to this page. See here what I'm doing. If you see populate data, line number 105, populate data from the REST API. Here you have a division, that is person ID, text person ID, right? Person ID. This is the value. This person ID is the ID. Whatever value or whatever record you want to search by giving person ID, you can, you know, you have to put it here, and that value will be added here. This is the person ID value which get added to here, right? So if you see here, document.ready function, dollar fetch data dot click function, where person ID dot val, right? So this is the syntax. You know, fetch data is basically that button. You know, this button here I have fetch data. On click of this button, right? On click of this button, fetch ID. On click of that particular button, what will happen? It will invoke this function, and it will fetch this person ID, dollar person ID. You know, so this person ID is always available in the page scope. When you talk about a web application, the HTML page, you have different scopes available inside the uh, HTML page. You know, you have page scope, you have that session scope, you have scope inside that particular block, like we have in Java, right? Method scope, class scope, global scope, package scope, right? Similarly, here in JavaScript or HTML pages, they also have their scope till which scope the variable is available. You can make a global scope which will be available to all the HTML page also, right? So this is how the page you are looking into. Now what happened in this line number 71? This will get the personality variable, and if personality is not null, what it will do? It will do a $.ajax. You know, you will ajax call. That is your HTTP call to the REST service. This is the HTTP call to the REST service. And what is the type method? Method type is get. Header, you know, always it will be content application JSON, because I am whatever I'm sending, it should send in a JSON tag, and data type is whatever response I'll get, I will get a JSON response. And inside that, what I'm doing, success function. In this function data, this data, whatever it is, it will be fetched from this URL. Whatever the JSON, you know, data type will get the JSON data type. That variable name is data. By default, it will be data. Whatever response you get from the REST API in the AJAX call, the variable will be data. And that data, you know, after receiving that data, what I'm doing, I'm populating it into the form. Here, this all value it will populate into the form. Dollar person ID value data dot person ID. This is how it is populating. And if you know if the person ID is null, you see in line number 96, you know, I have given alert. Please enter a person ID, because without person ID I can't search the record from the backend. Right? So this is a simple JavaScript which is written to populate the data. and this is in the top. So this is a simple Ajax query which is written to call the REST service, right? That is how if something went wrong and if you don't find any data, then this error function will be called. It will call and it will print a status saying the error fetching data. Please check the console status. That's all. Simple a message I've given. You can give a better message if you're developing it for your college or maybe for your company, right? So here you see this first this first fetch data button till this, it is you have to populate, you have to populate the person ID and click on fetch button, fetch data. That is the button in line number 110, and from 112 person detail, right, till this 136, from 112 I will minimize it, yeah, from 112, 112 till this is the population what I'm doing in the JavaScript, right? After fetching the data, this all field are getting populated. This is what you are populating the form, and then the below is row response. Whatever I'm getting directly, I'm populating the same to the script to see the raw response. I initially for testing I did that, so I kept it as it is to show you. So now this is the get page, which will fetch data from the backend calling the REST service, from the REST API. Next is create HTML. In create HTML, here, you have to go through the insert operation. What I'm doing here also, I have a form. That is my form. This form will take your first name, middle name, last name, age, and gender. You see line number 65 till line number 94. Line number 65 till 94, it is the form where I have to put the data. In line number 92, I have a submit button. In the submit button, when I click submit, what will happen? It will call this JavaScript. Here also I have a JavaScript. It will line number 139. Document ready function my form. Inside the form, that form my form I have a submit button. If I click on submit, my form submit. If I'm submitting the form, it will first first will get the form data into variable gender, age, last name, middle name, first name will get populated from the first name, middle name will get populated from the middle name, last name will get populated from the last name, age will get populated from the age, gender will get populated from the gender. This is how you access a variable of the form or a id available in that particular page, HTML id, right? That is called document id. This gender is a document id, age is a document id. If I go back to that form, you see, this id edge, right? So whatever data, whatever value, you if you want to read value of a particular HTML component on a HTML page using jQuery, you have to fetch it using the document id, and that id is basically defined in that particular tab or particular HTML component, right? So here all these are getting from the input text component, age, last name, middle name, first name. First, we're getting all these values. After getting all these values, there is Ajax form, right? Same, but here the method I is post, because you're going to call a post method. And URL, I have given this URL. What URL we, yesterday I have session, or in this previous session, I have shown you that the URL, how when you deploy it in Tomcat, what will be the URL. So what I will do, I'm deploying it in Tomcat for this application and the REST API application which I had shown. So I will give a call to Tomcat. That means I will have an application context name, right? So I have added that particular URL here, and accordingly it will call the insert operation, right? And when it will, what I'm sending? I'm sending a JSON thing, form data. I'm making a JSON dot stringify. It will create it as a for JSON string, and this JSON string will get sent to the this create API, right? Content type is always an application slash JSON, and then data type, whatever I'm getting return back is a text because it is a ID. So text, I'm getting a text, right? Because only I'm sending a string back, right? ID is created successfully. I'm not sending a JSON string, so it is a plain text. And success, if it is success, so response will get printed. Success saying this. If it is success, then function error part is below and success part is below. See, in Ajax, whenever you give a call to REST API, you can have a success. You can have a success part and you can have an error part. So I have defined both the part. The first part is only line number 57 is success part. Line number 68 is error part. In success part function response $response.html success plus JSON dot stringify response, right? That is a text I'm getting, I'm just printing it, right? And here error function etc status report. If there is any error, then this value will get printed. This is how simple, right? This is how simple. And here in this, I was trying to check, if the first name is empty, all this empty. I was trying to check, but it was completed. But I'm not stopping the application, or I'm not popping up any message, to show that you have not populated this field. You populate this field, then you will be able to submit. You can do that. I have not done that. Anyway, it's just to help you out how you can call from the external page. So this is get HTML. This is create HTML. Now inside index HTML, what I'm doing, I'm including both create and get HTML. If you see line number 125, it is create HTML, and if you see line number 128, it is get HTML. I'm including both the HTML. That means when the index page will get loaded, it will load both the page together. You can include this page. When we are using JSP, when I started developing the application, as a software engineer or developer in the early days in the beginning of my career in 2006, we used to have at the time HTML and JSP pages. Nowadays, I think JSP pages is very rare. Most of them are HTML and HTML embedded with jQuery, right? Or JavaScript frameworks. So these are the pages which I have shown you. Now the same I have here a client to work for that. I created using the jar command, jar hyphen cva, then file name dot var I've given. So it is created this var file. You can use the jar command to create a var file. Or what you can do, you can always use Maven script. What I will do when I'm going to push this code to GitHub, I will put a Maven script for you all so that you can run that Maven script. It will give you one. By this time, you know how to write a Maven script because I have explained how to write a Maven script for a project in the very beginning, right? Initially, when I started this session. First, initially Java, then Maven script, then XML XSD, then Hibernate JDBC, and then Spring Hibernate, then REST API, and now the client side. So let's go to web app. In web apps, if you see, I have here our application, whatever I deployed yesterday, right? So I'm not going to add anything new to here. Now, this is the client application which is already there. The same create, get, index. I will just show you how it works. Let me start the server now. Right? I have started the server. See, this is whatever I supposed to deliver. I have delivered this much the sequence. You can find if Java full stack development one by one, not a series of full stack development in anywhere. Uh, so I've given you whole series of full stack development. The only thing is front end side. I've just taken a taken a simple approach to show you. If you want to have better front end with better architecture like what we used to do, or what I used to do or design in the case of enterprise application or application deployed in any different organization, when we're doing a real development of a software product. If you want similar kind of architecture or design, you can always connect me. You can always discuss to me via LinkedIn, or maybe through YouTube comment section, or maybe you can mail me or you can call me. I will definitely help you out. So let's go and you know so it is that application, our REST API application is starting now, because logs are getting generated now. That's why it is running like that. So fast, so many logs are getting generated because I put log for XML. The status as all, logger, root level all. That means it will print all the level of logs, not only info. So it will go on. Let's go to the browser. HTTP colon slash localhost client. The context name is client because URL is client slash index.html. I am clicking on enter. It's taking some time. What happened? Where is Tomcat? Is there any issue or something? No, it is still initializing Tomcat. That's why it is taking some time. Once the Tomcat is initialized, all the application properly deployed, it will fetches the index.html. Just let us give some time to the Tomcat. You can apply the same application in JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere, wherever you want, and then you can see the outcome of this application, right? So see, this is the page how it looks. I have just randomly I created a random with color, and there is nothing here to whatever color, whatever however you want to design the page, you can always design. This is how the page look which I have designed. We create a person record, right? Create a person record is the tab which is enabled now. If I click on the get person detail, now this tab will come get person detail populated data from the REST API. It is populating data from the REST API. If I change this populate data from the REST API, I can put it here, populate the information or uh, no, personal information or person information, right? Let's put it as personal information. At least let me do some changes in front of you and show you how you can debug this web application if you have any issue. Start the Tomcat, right? Start the Tomcat, deploy the application, go to Weavers folder, go to the, in my case it is client war, right? It is client war. Client war is exploded to here this client, and go to the client folder, and here this page is basically get HTML. So what I will do, I will open the get HTML page directly here, from directly here on the Notepad plus plus. I'm using that as my editor tool here. You know what I will do, wherever the personal data, this is populate data here, header one, I will change it personal information. Right, I will make it personal information, and then go back to the browser, hit it, refresh the page, index.html, and then click on this. See, sometime what happens, sometime it won't display the data. It is because it is inside the page. That page is, this page is not getting refreshed. So what I can do in that particular situation, just stop the Tomcat and start it again. you know. See, it is always needed if you are really developing an application which is deployed, which is going to get deployed in a some kind of production environment and people will be using it. Then you need to maintain the session properly. You should have a login page, and the user should maintain the session properly. If it is a really application which need to require maintenance session. In this particular page, whatever I am doing, session maintenance is not required, so I am not worried about that. I'm just worried to show you how the REST API call from the jQuery, behaves or how it works. That is what only my concern. Nowadays, people are not using JSP. Initially, I thought, okay, let me create. And I thought, hey, JSP is no more used. So let me go with the jQuery, small application with few pages that will be helping you to catch this. When I was writing these HTML pages for you all, I just remembered my initial days. Lots of JSP code, tag libraries, JSP Java beans. We used to write tag handlers for different operations. Nowadays, these are not required because already you have jQuery framework. Those who are JavaScript framework, those are already providing this kind of functionalities. 2006, 2007, 2008, that time I was using this JSP, JavaScript, all this. And after that, from 2008 onwards, I think so, I started working with a framework called JCOS, Joule. Now it is 2025. So many frameworks are there. So many. So I did a hit to the page and we are able to get this page. Let me click on get personal detail. It's not reflecting. Why? So it might be some catch. Sometimes browser catches. See, directly I did a hit to get HTML. I found the information here, right? Get HTML. But in this page, it is not reflecting because this is a catch. Let me open it in the another browser. Sometimes you have to see this catch. I'm opening the Internet Explorer. Let's see Microsoft Edge. Let's see there. So we got Microsoft Edge here. Let me hit it here, right? See, in Microsoft it came because in Google Chrome, if I clean that browser, Google Chrome, if I clean all the cache and all of the stuff, this personal information will come into picture, right? Here I did a hit in Microsoft Edge, it is coming properly, right? So that's how it is. Now let's go create a record, right? Let's go create a record now. This is I'm opening from the Chrome browser now. So let's get dummy first name is dummy first name, right? Dummy first name. Last name is dummy last name. Dummy last name. Sorry, middle name. Your dummy last name. Your age, let's say something around 75. Gender, let's say male. Right? Now click on submit button. See, it is saying success. This ID is created. Right? Let's go and search this ID from this page. Get personal data. I'm just copied that ID from that browser page and I'm displaying it here. You see, here I got the this ID, person ID, dummy first name, dummy last name, dummy middle name, age 75, male. Right? Now, if I go to Internet Explorer and fetch the same information with the same ID, see, there is no difference. You will get the same thing what you get in Chrome, the same thing you will get it in Internet Explorer also. Right? You got this data here, right? This is the raw data which is coming, which we have seen in the REST client, that is SOAP UI, or on the browser. The same data I am populating in this field. Let me go and create one more record. First name again, let's me dummy. First name I'm just giving capital here, right? The small dummy last name. It is middle name. Dummy middle name. Age, let's say something around 36. Gender, let's say female. There you create a male record, let's create a female record. See, we got a record here, right? Let's go back to the get personal detail and put it here and search it. See, dummy first name, dummy last name, dummy middle name, age 36, female, right? It is coming. The same thing if I search in here, Chrome, the same thing I'm searching in Chrome. You get the same data. How fast it is working, right? Now, to make sure that this record got created in database, I'll go to the database. See, before starting this session, I have shown you, I should have shown you the database, but I have not shown you. This is the record which this is the record which I have faced just before starting this session. These are the record which I have. Now you will see just two records got created. That two record will come here. See, dummy first name, dummy last name. One is small, one is capital. In front of you, I will create a one more record in database. You see there is no more thing here. No more record is there. Now I will create one more record in database to make sure that I know to make you that see whatever I'm doing submit from the UI that is going to database. I will write my record Satya, right? Middle name, no middle name. Here I'll give my family name Sahu, right? Here I'll give my age, it is 44. Well, right? Gender is male. Now I'll submit. See, a record got created with ID 1745745 right? So let me copy this ID and search it. See, came Satya Sahu 44 male, right? Now if I go here in the Internet Explorer, let me search it here. Here also you're getting the same. It searches in a blinking of your eye, the data is coming here. I will solve the same thing in database now. See, Satya Sahu, age 44. I just remove Nanda because I already have a record Satyananda Sahu, age 44 male. The same record I don't want to duplicate it, so I created Satya Sahu 44 male. So you might have understood now how the UI integration with the REST API is working. Both of the applications are deployed in Tomcat. One is client-ware, one is server-ware. One is client-ware. I'll go to web apps. One is client-ware. This is, if you see, this client-ware is the client application. And Spring Hibernate, this is our REST API with the service layer and Hibernate, everything in that. That is the server application. So these both are deployed in Tomcat and we're calling it. The same way, what you can do, if you don't want to use Tomcat, you want to have a standalone application, you can run the jar and then you can you can change the URL in your HTML pages, get HTML page and create HTML page to hit the server. What will happen? The difference is you will not have any application context name when you are deploying it as a jar. So directly you can use your service URL and hit the REST API to fetch the information and display it on the page. This is what your client API. Today we are done with this particular, front end part also, and almost, you can say whatever needed for full stack development. I have shown you everything. Java full stack development. I will, all the videos I will create a sequence by 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you can follow all the sequence till this session. You will be able to understand the full Java full stack development. You need not require to go to any institute or organization. You can learn from my videos, and you can become a full stack Java developer. So this is what I have done, right? Let's go back to the Eclipse now. The loggers. Why the loggers were not getting generated yesterday? See, yesterday what happened, when I was trying to put the logger, if my file would be log4j XML, the version 1, it would have generated. It would have generated without any issue. Log4j, it would have generated without any issue. Because what happened, no, in Spring Boot application or in Spring framework, this Spring Boot application framework, by default, there is one log4j jars or components are available, which is creating trouble for this guy to run. So what I did, I added a few things in the Maven in POM file to add the exact dependency that needed for log4j to like for log4j to XML. See, now most of the applications which got developed, which are developed and deployed in the production, most of them are using log4j XML. Log4j to XML is recently introduced, and if you are migrating from log4j to log4j to XML, then you need to be very careful. The existing application, those are using log4j XML, they should also work. Their logger should also work. That means you should have a better approach how you can make both of them work together without creating any problem or conflict. See, in Spring Boot framework, what you need to do. So over the Spring Boot, this is the group ID. Artifact ID is Spring Boot starter. Right? This is the artifact ID. In this, basically, you have to do a exclusion. You have to exclusion, and in this exclusion, basically, you have to exclude or you have to remove basically org, exclude your org Spring Framework Boot, Spring Boot starter logging. Spring Boot starter logging you have to exclude. So After excluding this or adding the exclusion for Spring Boot starter logging, you need to add a dependency that is for log4j2. Same, same artifact group ID will be same. No, it's little bit different. org.spring framework. In top it is Spring Boot starter. Here org Spring framework dot boot, and artifact ID is Spring Boot starter. Instead of logging, you will have log4j2 starter hyphen log project to. And when you take a build, it will add the needed dependency for log4j2, and your XML will, or your this thing will start getting generated. You can easily check that, right? So here I will show you uh, Java session, right? Java session SQL. What I will do for you, I will run that Java application, right? I will run that Java application without any. See what are the log4j XML I have here. I have whatever the log4j XML I have here. I have just given a log file and a log here, right? That is for file log directories log, and rolling file log directories properties log file. Nothing else is changed here. Only I've enabled the file and rolling file. Right, label is all. Let me go to the uh, let me go to the POM file and rebuild a particular jar for it and show you how it is working. Because yesterday it failed, right? So I will show you the working of this particular thing. To create a jar file, I need to comment out few things, right? So I will create a jar file here and comment out this thing which is not required for a standalone jar. Because UR is already deployed, I don't want to disturb the UR. I will create a jar, and in UR also it is generating all the log files you have seen in the console. Here I will show you the same thing. So this is how the main file should get changed. That's what I have done. Right now, uh, going back to the, you can keep this, you know, this part particularly enabled since it is also rails control. Let's take this welcome message to the top. Now, POM file change is required for a jar. That changes I will do, enabling, enabling it to a jar. So the jar file is enabled now. Coming down, provided scope, I have one, right? In one place, provided scope, that also need to be enabled. Disable this when you're going for embedded Tomcat. Yeah, so it is fine. You need to go to enable. It's fine. Uh, this part is disabled, and then this copy here, copying dependencies, and hitting runnable jar. So this is how it is, right? This is how it got created. The Maven file changes is done. We'll build a jar, run it, show you the log file, then the session is done. So run as Maven. clean. Start. So let me stop the Tomcat server. We don't need anymore this Tomcat. This is also not required, but let it there. And let me now close these services. There are so many files on this particular uh, meeting system flow. We'll start it. Do the char build. That build is done. Copying nodes, go to copy the dependencies. The dependency copy is started, and then build is success. Let's go to the target folder. Yeah, jar is there. Dependencies are copied. Right. Let's open it in a command prompt. Yeah, open jar. I can show you changing the URL also. It is working through this. See, so much logs are generating. Earlier, only few logs. Now you see so many things are getting generated. If you go to target folder, see log folder is here. App.log is app.log got generated. And going to log file, you see rolling files are getting generated, right? The rolling files are getting generated. Yesterday this was not happening because of that, because of the dependencies. If you don't have proper thorough dependencies, it won't enable logging aspects. It won't generate, right? And one more thing I can tell you, already the logging aspect file is there in the uh, this framework. You can always rather writing log for log.info in starting and ending of every method. You can use this logging aspects. You know, you can use this log for logging aspect oriented programming language or the logging aspect which I created just to tag it. In each every method, print this, print this, print this. No need of no need of having this thing again and again. Right? So all the log file got generated, but what happens? Some issue is there. The application got shut down. We have to see what is that. The main result graph printer. Hibernate was a role dot Hibernate property. Something went wrong. That is the reason it is stopped. Why it is stopped? We have to see that. Info computer diseases. Java system stopped. Last modified this. Something I missed to disable or enable. Hmm. Let me run this sheet here. If it works here, then also then it will work there. Right? Java application. So now, if I'm running this jar file will run in embedded Tomcat, right? When it is running in embedded Tomcat, I need to but a Tomcat port number is 8080. That means I need to change the Tomcat port in my client service where the client where is deployed, right? Either I have to make it 88, 8081, whatever it is. You just need to change that port. Yeah. So it started. See, Tomcat got started. This whatever the log you are seeing here, there also you should see the same log. There is some issue why it didn't start. You have to check it. It is starting here. That means the Tomcat jar file should start the application. Let me run it again. Something might have gone wrong because of which it is not started. Maybe that time the Tomcat was running correct when I started this. After that I closed the Tomcat. Maybe that maybe the region 88 port. Something is going wrong in the jar file, so that's why it is stopping. Anyway, fine, it's fine. Something is going wrong here in the jar file. Stop application tax executor. I don't know what could be the wrong. Started main this is process running this, returning this, debug this, accepted traffic, life cycle. Somewhere something going wrong. Spring application shutdown. Info configuration, XML configuration, location, jar file, Java target, Spring event jar. Log project to XML last modified this stop. No, sometimes somewhere it is getting called Spring application shutdown. Shutdown hook. This is shutdown hook. Application availability state readiness state change to accepting traffic. Application availability. Why it is calling shutdown hook? Okay, so there might be something wrong going wrong. Let's do. No, let's do something. 1 second. Hold on. So see, this is the jar which I created yesterday. Same build before converting it to the war. So let me run it from here. You can see the same jar. Some Somewhere some confusion is going wrong. That might be the issue. So let me run this. Java hyphen yeah. See, this is the jar which I created yesterday. Before the after the session. To why when the log was not working, it kept the log file here. I will just run the same jar. I will delete this log file. Now delete this log file. Why this log file is not getting deleted? Hmm. The file cannot be completed because the file in Java ATM platform stand and it could not file try again. Oh, this is getting generated now. That means it started. This Tomcat is running or something like that. Let me see what is happening. I double clicked that jar. That's why it started running that Tomcat. It might take some time to release that Tomcat. These are the common processor I have. Yes. Register, desktop, log file, everything. Yes, it is running. Here it is running. And this task. I will build this project again and parallelly I will run that. Maybe while doing the build there might be some issue, so let me build it again. So see, I am not a Node.js person. Node.js all this. Um, AngularJS, React.js. I worked as an engineering leader on AngularJS, the project, guiding the people, guiding my team members, right? So this is a log file. Is it still generating? Go to the upload jar. What happened here? Failed target, rerun this. Oh, okay. Let me close this guy, right? Right. Go to the log file. This clean. Let me run it again. Doing this build, doing that. I'm starting that Tomcat. That jar. If the Tomcat port is not used, it will start it. Whenever you have this issue, Tomcat port is having, and you are not able to identify which port, which all these, you can always, go to the task manager and have to see if there is a Tomcat or Catalina process is running. Then you can kill that process and then start your Tomcat. Application failed to start. Web server failed to start on port 8080 was already in use. That port is already in use. That means there is some Java application running, right? So let's go to the this Eclipse and see which is the Java application that is running. Hmm, Java trademark. This is one it is running, right? Let us we can end this task. Yes. Let's see any Java. Now let's start it again. Yeah, so this is the application started here, right? The application started here, Tomcat started here, and if you go and see the log file, that is what my main thing. After doing that changes, right? The log file I will show you here where I came out of the project. So let's go to the jar. This is the package. This is the log file. So see here the log file. See, this log files are getting generated here, right? This is rolling file generator. It is getting generated. Continuously it is saying that some internal log file, because what I did, I put the logger as all, so you will get all the logs here. It is getting generated, and if you see the files are getting replaced in this log file dot this thing. Let me do one more thing for you. I will show how you can do it in how you can do it in uh, your the Tomcat thing, how we can hit it to the server, right? From the Tomcat. Before that, we need to change the file, server.xml. If you see that with Tomcat port number, that is what I remember now. It's been a long time I'm opening this file. So let's see if the port number is here. We just need to modify the port number and start. Yes, see it is connector port number is 8080 and redirect port is 8084 43. Yeah, that is the place I need to only change or you need to modify. Let's make it 8081, that is my age, and 84 43. Let's make it 44 81, right? If it starts, then the port number not used. If it won't start, the port number are used. So let me go and start here. Where is the Tomcat? Yeah. Before that, I need to change the URL, right? Let's go to the notepad plus plus. Let's go to the create.html because this is the place where the URL is there in Ajax. Just you need to remove that, but just you need to remove this part, right? This. Spring Hibernate HIB int hyphen 0.0.1 snapshot. We just need to remove this part because here it is directly user API create. And then in get HTML also the same thing, right? In get HTML, need to go and remove the contest name, application contest name, because it is deployed in the jar. So application contest name will no more be used. And port number is anyway same. Tomcat port number we have changed. So while hitting from the browser, you need to take care of the port number. Yeah, start upload batch. Yeah, Tomcat, I think it's starting because it's not given any issue for the port number. Mhm. If it successfully starts, that means the port number is whatever I have mentioned is fine. So here instead of 8080, we will hit 8081. My original battery is 81, certificate battery is 1.5 year difference. You know, that time people used to do that. And nowadays in this country called India, everything in India, everything is restricted. Like you have birth certificate, you will get admission into the school showing your birth certificate, and everything is digitalization. So that's how the time. I'm from a old school. You know, now the young generation is different than the generation of my time. I think it's starting. Yes, it started with port number 8081. If you see here, it is showing 8081, right? It started with the port number 8081. Let's go to the browser and change the port number to 8081. If before changing the port number to 8081, I will hit with 80. See what is happening. Oh, it is automatically it took 8081. Fine, interesting. I want to go to another page, change it to 8080 and hit. This is catch here. How come it is coming same 8084? It is a catch. Let me fetch one record. Huh? See, this we get personal is 500 unexpected error, right? Because the page is not able to load because it is not the URL. Now let's go to the this and change the URL to 8081. It's came right, and if I click on get personal detail, it is also coming. Right. So let me now put something here. Jar, right? Jar. I'll put everything jar. First name, middle name, jar. Age 43. Male. Right. Submit. Undefined error. Why? From where this error is coming? Okay, in rather getting, let me fetch it fast. I will take a record of my record from the SQL and fetch it. This is the record I will get, my record 82. This record I will take and fetch it fast. Fetching data, error fetching data, that means there is some problem with the URL. So you can debug always by uh, going to this console. If you see this console, it is saying has been blocked by CORSL. CORS policy response to the pre-flight request doesn't pass access control check. No access control allow urgent header is present on the request header. See, this is coming because now both of them are in different server, right? Both of them are in different server. I will show you the URL which I configured in the HTML page. If you hit on the browser, it will come. See, this is the URL, right? This is the URL for the gate. which we have in browser page. I'll copy which we are using for fetching the information. I'll copy this URL and hit in the same Chrome here, giving that ID, you know, whatever my ID. Uh, Let me copy it again, that ID. This is the ID, the ID. I'll paste it here. ID equal to this and hit it. See, you are getting the record, right? You are getting the record here, but you are not getting it is, but you are not getting it in this particular page. You are not getting it in this particular page. The reason behind that, there is something called cross-site scripting. We are now we are from the two different server. One is Tomcat server and one is embedded Tomcat server. This client is deployed in 8081 port and this server is deployed in 8080 port. There is something called cross-site scripting or CORS. You need to attach access control allow origin to the header whenever this request is sending to the service, that access control rights should be there. Right? So for that reason, you need to configure something in your service side, in your REST API to access it. Now, whatever application I have deployed, I have done it. There is no security. There is no security implementation. Just the application deployed and it's it. Right? So if you want to add all these, you can always add all these, and you'll be able to access from different portal, different website. But accessing from a Java program or REST client, you don't need any. You don't need any this kind of thing, because Java program and REST client will able to access them directly. But whenever you are accessing from a browser, you need this. See, SOAP-UI, whatever you are when you are accessing from SOAP-UI or Postman, they are kind of SOAP-UI is basically kind of a Java-based application, and they use Java calls to fetch the information from the REST API. But when you are accessing from the SQL pages, standalone SQL pages or SQL pages deployed in a server and accessing from that server to the other server, you're basically giving a jQuery call, which is always, or JavaScript call, which is always stranger to the server. So for that, security consideration need to be taken care, or security concerns need to be taken care to access. This is how you are able to do it. See, this is how it works. If the thing is fixed, right? If this CORS or this access control allow origin is fixed, then this particular web page will be able to hit that service deployed in embedded Tomcat, and will be able to access the URL. Right? So see, in this particular application also, in this particular 8080 port also, in this Tomcat, this same application is deployed with context name, right? I will show you that, you know, we'll make it 8081 and we'll put the context name here. Just fetch it from the term. So today, full stack development is end. The whole full stack development of Java I have done. If you need any information, you can always call me, and you can always, if you are doing a college project, deploy it in the same Tomcat, it will work. So see, now I added the application context name to that particular URL, and I will change it to 881. User localhost 881 this API. Acha, your user is not there, right? User slash API. Why it is not saying? What happened? Status report phone not found. Users screen. See, it is not user. First will be the application context name. So here it is the application context name, then user. User slash API question mark ID. This it should fetch from the database. See, it is fetching from the database. This is how this application, now your application is already deployed in Tomcat and also in embedded Tomcat. The UI is not working because you need to take care of what is that access control allow origin. You need to take care of that, and if you are able to take care of that header, it will able to access from the other server also. Anyway, this is how today's session. I have shown you how to change port number in Tomcat also. So almost everything, most of the thing which a full stack developer needs to know, I have told you. And anyway, you all have internet access, internet access, Copilot access, Google Gemini AI access, you have ChatGPT access, so many artificial intelligence access. You can always go to this on portal. You can always chat with them. You will get all the information what you want to develop your application, right? The way you want to develop your application. Java is a programming language which is going to stay, you know, in application product development sector or area for longer term, for more than decades. It will stay. No one can break the pillar of Java. Java is a very good, strong programming language which will stay in application product development area for a long time. So Java has its own features and capability. Every programming language has its own feature and capability. See, people those are learning Python, more if you see most of the REST API services are developed with deployed in Java. But if you see Python, Python is basically in most of the cases used in data science, used in artificial intelligence, used in ETL kind of work, where it has its efficiency in that kind of work. It is used in machine learning, so you need to know what you want, on which track you want to go, and then you go accordingly. Like AngularJS, React.js, Node.js, if you are learning all these, this has its own importance in its area, right? If people with front-end application, those who want to directly invoke DB or REST services, they go with AngularJS, React.js, or Node.js, and they do it. AngularJS, Node.js, React.js, they always talk to NoSQL DB and they fetch better information of data, right? So see, it depends on you what kind of application you are developing and what all you want to involve in that in that project to develop your application or product. I'm going to end this session. Before that, I will share my information here. If you need really, if you need really to learn more, grow in your career, you can always connect me. I will help you out. Mm, I'll share my information to connect me, the information to connect me. See, this is the information. You can connect me to my mail ID. You can mail me whatever concern you have to this mail ID, satya.sahu@gmail.com. You can always connect me on over the LinkedIn. That is https www.linkedin.com/in/satyananda. You can always call me on my cell. Cell number is here +91 9986488396. You can always watch on my YouTube channel all the videos and sessions, and you can comment on each video and session if you have any issue, if you have any concern, if you need any clarification. You can connect. I will reply there. And if you want to have any one-to-one session, you can also connect me. I will take one-to-one session either on YouTube or on Zoom meeting or maybe on Google Meet or maybe whatever the platform is available. I will take one-to-one session and clarify your doubt, your concerns, and help you to learn and grow. Along with that, I will also learn and grow because of your queries, your questions. It will expand my thought process, my uh, technical skill as well. So this is here we am ending my full stack development, and maybe in future I will have some other videos where there is no full stack development. Maybe some features and some new features available with maybe in Spring, Hibernate, or somewhere a future product video, or maybe in managerial skill, leadership skill, or some other kind of videos. You keep watching on my YouTube channel, you will see what is getting uploaded. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching my full stack development video session and learning from this and growing in your career. Thank you everyone. See you, in my next future video session.